Hey, Brian from SnakeBytes here. I hear a lot of people complaining about all the talk about ball pythons, and although they're a huge part of the boid family, there's certainly a ton of other really cool animals in that group. So we're going to spend some time covering the top 5 cool boids that aren't ball pythons. You're watching SnakeBytes. Ball pythons and boas are awesome animals, and they're in the family Boidae. We just call them boids, but there's a ton of other boids that are really awesome that don't probably get nearly as much attention as they deserve. I want to start with 5 types of animals that I'm going to categorize. The first one being giant snakes, and I'm going to put the Burmese pythons and the reticulated pythons in that group. Burmese pythons are awesome animals. They're not for everyone, and as you can see, they get pretty big, and this one's even hissing a little bit. You got to even be a little careful. I think she's going to be okay, but man, whoa, I guess I'm a little wrong. You definitely got to watch out. Again, she's probably not as bad as you've seen. I take this animal out all the time, and she's really not that mean, but she's kind of in a bad mood today. I'm just going to make sure her head's going in one direction. Oh, this day may get a little longer than I thought. Come on, girl. No, stop it, stop it. As you can see, a lot of times, once you get these guys going, they're actually just fine. She's really not nearly as mean as she looked in the beginning. But again, whenever you're dealing with a big snake, you do have to be careful because they do pack a lot of punch. As you can see, she's really just a baby once she gets out, but when she's in that cage, she's thinking about food, she's thinking about defending herself a little bit. But Burms are something I've been working with since I was 15 years old, and I certainly pay them a lot of respect because they're big animals that could probably hurt you if you're not careful. But I'll be honest with you, in the 20-something years I've been working with them, I've never had more than a little bit of a bite that goes away after a few days. Let's go ahead and look at some retics. Now, reticulated pythons, in my opinion, are a little more dodgy than Burmese pythons. Of course, that Burm was a little bit agitated, but you can usually read them pretty well. The problem with retics are that they're kind of fast animals, and sometimes they just get in bad moods. So one day you will open them up and they're super tame. The next day they want to eat your face a little bit. But again, I can't stress enough how cool reticulated pythons are. But if you ever want to keep them, you've got to make sure that you can take care of an animal that full grown can get up to 20 foot and a couple hundred pounds. So there's a lot of work to them, but you can see how beautiful they are. This albino retic literally is one of the prettiest snakes I think I own. I just love that really bright yellow head, and I still love their attitudes. They're just a real big challenge to work with. Let's take it down a notch and let's talk about boas. I'm not talking about boa constrictors, but other animals that are still considered a boa. I'm going to start by talking about Brazilian rainbow boas. Now, what really makes a boa different than a python is mainly they have live young. So these Brazilian rainbow boas will literally have 18 to 25 live babies, so you don't have to mess around with the egg thing at all, which is really cool when you open up the cage to a gravid female and you find just a whole bunch of babies cruising around. And Brazilian rainbow boas are really awesome because this is a really big adult female. She's probably every bit of 6 foot and pretty big around. This is about as big as they're absolutely going to get, and you can see they're very manageable, but also a beautiful, beautiful snake. You can just see the iridescence and the cryptic patterning, and as you can see, they're super tame animals. So if you ever want a boa that's not a boa constrictor because it's going to stay a little smaller, a Brazilian rainbow boa or a Colombian rainbow boa might be a good choice.
So Brian's been giving you guys all this bibble babble bull about non-ball python snakes, which he thinks are cool. I want to know what you guys think are the coolest snakes that are non-ball pythons. Personally, me, I have to say the green tree pythons. Comment below and let us know.
Sticking with the small boas, these sand boas are really awesome animals, and just like the Brazilian rainbow, these guys have live young. This is an adult female Kenyan, and as you can see, she's probably loaded up with babies right now. These guys hang on to their babies for about 3.5 months after they're pregnant, and then this girl will probably have somewhere between 15 and 20 little baby sand boas. They stay nice and small, they're really easy to care for, and they're super fun to breed. On to the third group of animals, and you might be asking yourself, I don't really want a boa. I really like pythons, but I don't want one that gets really big. So I'm going to show you a couple animals that fit perfectly into that group. The first one is a spotted python. These guys only get this large, maybe about 4.5 or 5 foot. They're really colorful animals. They're great for people that have an apartment or a small amount of space. As you can see, they're super placid, but they're still a python, so they'll have eggs. They're relatively easy to breed. This spotted python will have up to 15 eggs, no problem, but the babies hatch out really small, but they typically eat pinkies really well. Again, it's a great choice if you want a smaller python and you're not looking for something that gets too big. Another animal that's just a different species, but almost the exact same animal, are these children's pythons. Now, they aren't quite as brown and tan, they're more of a rust color, but other than that, they're the exact same type of animal, the same care. The only thing I've noticed is that children's pythons stay a little bit smaller, and they actually have a few more eggs, but a little bit smaller eggs. So a big children's python can have up to 20 eggs. Again, it's a great choice if you want a smaller python. The fourth group of animals I want to talk about are Australian pythons. Now, spotted pythons and children's pythons are an Australian python, but I'm going to talk about Australian pythons that get a little bit larger. So if you're looking for a snake that has a little beef to it, these Woma pythons are really incredible animals. I've talked about these guys before. They don't get really big, only about 6 foot long, but they get heavy bodied, so they're kind of an impressive snake. But as you can see, they're super docile animals, and they breed pretty well too. But another species of animals I want to show you guys are carpet pythons, which are really cool animals. What makes carpet pythons so cool is that they're a larger bodied animal, with some species getting up to 10 foot, but as you can see, they love to climb. So if you ever want to set up a really cool vivarium with a bunch of trees and branches, these guys are an awesome addition to that. Not to mention, they're really a placid animal and can make really good pets. They also come in a lot of variety. This is just a normal Queensland carpet python, but there's jungles, jaguars, which is a mutation of carpet python, Brettles or centralian carpets, and there's even albino carpets out there now. So these guys are definitely an up-and-coming species. And the last group of snakes I want to talk about is a group of snakes that I'm just starting to get into, but was high on my list of things to buy this year, and that's blood pythons. Blood pythons are an animal I worked with several years ago and got rid of them, and ever since I've really wanted to get back into this species of animal. As you can see, when you get them out, they become super placid, and there's just something really special about a blood python. They just act different than almost any other snake I've ever worked with. What's really cool about them too is there's a bunch of different colors, whether it's locality or mutations. I think blood pythons are an up-and-coming snake, and certainly something I think everyone should work with if they want just a really cool animal. So there's 5 groups of boids that are not ball pythons, and that's not to say that you shouldn't really want a ball python, because you guys know how much I love these guys, but if ball pythons aren't your thing, there's certainly a lot of choices out there that you can make. Well, we've had some changes going on here. Most importantly, we brought some new people on, like Sam and Josh, and I made it really clear to the guys that you've got to make these people feel real welcome and part of the family. I didn't want pranks or hazing or any of that nonsense going on, but I'm going to be honest with you, I just don't think that's working.
Georgie, Sam's been here 3 months and we haven't played any pranks.
Hit Dog said no more pranks.
Hen Dog said no dangerous pranks. Ready?
Let's go.
Really, guys? You guys suck. George!
I got the keys. We gotta hurry up though.
Go, big kid.
So how's everything going with the guys so far, Sam?
It's doing really good. They're good guys, you know? I think we're gonna be really good friends.
God, we got that idiot. So good.
Stupid new people are so dumb. Get them every...
Sam!
For this week's comment of the week, the question was, what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? And hopefully Haha said,
I was in Portugal for my birthday and woke up one morning with a centipede in my mouth. Not realizing I bit down and half of it fell out of my mouth and the other half, well, I swallowed it. It was really bitter and I wouldn't recommend it anytime soon. Love the show?
Oh man, I tell you what, that is totally disgusting. You guys probably know by now, I'm terrified of bugs, and even the thought of eating a centipede just drives me crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed the show and learned that there's some really cool boids that aren't ball pythons or even boa constrictors. And over on my Twitter account, I asked you guys what you wanted to see, and under constriction said the super lorry ball. Make sure you guys follow me at SnakeBytesTV. Until next time, this has been Snake Bites.